Hey, young friends, Dr. Bill here. Once again, we're going to talk about the things that Jesus said and taught. And as I've mentioned several times before, we're paying a lot of attention to Jesus' parables, stories he told that shed some light and helped us understand how God works and also what God expects of us. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the parable of the talents, which is found in Matthew's Gospel. A similar parable is also found in Luke's Gospel, and it goes by the title of the parable of the pounds. Well, here's how the parable goes. Jesus said there was a man who decided that he would go away on a long trip. He had some property, and so he called 3 of his slaves together and said, I'm getting ready to leave town for a while, and I would like for you to take what I give you and do something with it. And so to one slave, he entrusted 5 talents. To another, he entrusted 2 talents. And finally, to the last slave, he entrusted 1 talent. So the master went away and left on his trip. And the first servant, the first slave, the 5-talent guy, he went and invested his 5 talents, and lo and behold, he made 5 talents more. Same with the second talent guy. He took his 2 talents, found a way to invest it, multiplied what he had, and he had 4 talents. Now the 1-talent slave decided that he better play it safe. And so he took that talent, wrapped it in cloth, and buried it in the ground. When the master finally returned from his journey, he called all 3 slaves to meet with him so he could get an accounting and learn what they had done. So the 5-talent guy walks in and says, look, you gave me 5 talents. I have made you 5 more. Here are 10 talents. And the master applauded him and said, hey, well done. You're going to get a promotion. And then the 2-talent slave came in and said, hey, I did the same. I took what you gave me and I invested it, and I've returned a profit. Instead of just 2 talents, you now have 4. And once again, the master said, hey, that is terrific. You've done a great job. You'll get a promotion. Well, then the 1-talent guy comes in and he says, oh, master, I knew that you were pretty hard and pretty difficult, and I was afraid of you, and I was afraid of losing what you gave me. So I wrapped the talent in a cloth and I buried it. And now that you're back, I've dug it up, and here's the talent you gave me, and I haven't lost anything. Well, the master was terribly, terribly angry at this slave and said, take what he has and give it to the one who has 5 talents. Now, the parable has several points that are important for us. First, we think of talents and we think about our gifts and abilities, and that's certainly true and very important. But talents also, in Jesus' day, was a reference to money, to something that was valuable, something that could be spent. And so the idea behind the talents is not just our gifts and abilities, but also all of our possessions. All of that belongs to God, and all of that is to be used in the service of God. The second point about this parable that I find really important is the fact that God entrusts us and he believes in us so much that he says, here, you have these gifts, you have these capabilities, you have these possessions. I've given them to you, and I want you to use them. In other words, God really and truly believes in us. He thinks a lot of us and believes in us so much that he's willing to risk what he has with us, saying, go see what you can do. And then the final point is that the last slave, the one who simply buried his talent, well, he was overcome by fear. Because he was so afraid, he didn't put anything at risk. The truth is, faith sometimes involves taking some risks, doing some things that we might think, hey, that might not work out. I might lose something here. Sometimes what happens is that we get so afraid. We get so afraid that we're afraid to do anything. And that's just deadly to faith. And it's deadly for us trying to be faithful in our attempts to follow Jesus. Sometimes we have to risk something in order to be a faithful disciple of Jesus Christ. Well, that'll do it for today. As always, I'm available if you ever want to talk about this or any of the other parables that we've looked at. You can give me a call, send me a text message, an email. I'll be happy to meet with you and talk with you anytime, anywhere. In the meantime, I certainly hope that you're having a great week at school, and I wish you nothing but the very best. I'll see you next time. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.